Welcome to Throwback Thursday. This episode features one of our favorite guests from a couple seasons ago, Ryan Van Duzer. He is one of my favorite content providers of all time and a true pleasure to hang with. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and have a great week.
What's going on, everybody? This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who still rubs Cheez Whiz all over his face and hands when he washes his hands so that he can have something to eat immediately on the trail. Wasting no time. Carl Mandrioli.
Thank you for that. With me today is Derek Somerville. He's a man that thinks a bicycle can't stand on its own because it's just too tired.
Oh, wow. I get flat with you, I'll tell you that. All right.
All right, so we have a different kind of episode today because we have a different kind of adventure today. We have kind of an all-encompassing adventure guest and a gentleman named Ryan Van Duzer. Yeah?
Yeah, energy, positivity. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's got some great stories today, too.
He's a bikepacker. He's a bike tourer, but he's also an ultra-marathon runner. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of like... He's done it all. He was in the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
He's biked from Honduras all the way up the coast back to America. He's done a lot of different things. He's full of adventure. He's full of energy. He's actually a YouTuber that I genuinely watch, typically for inspiration during, I don't know, January, February, early March, when I'm just like waiting for summer to happen. Yeah.
Just to encourage you in your daily life, really.
Just for inspiration. I just like seeing the scenery. He's just a good videographer, man.
Good people. He's good people.
He's good people, too.
Yeah.
I was excited to talk to him, and so we're going to get to that here in a couple minutes. But first, we got our Bible verse, Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. You're laughing at the Bible verse.
I'm waiting for your question.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
So when you're out in society, places like Costco, McDonald's.
I don't go to McDonald's.
Do you think people describe you as overflowing with joy?
For sure. Just abundant. Just abundant.
Okay, really? I was thinking more
Absolutely.
like crotchety.
Crotchety? That's more your neck of the woods, isn't it? I mean,
that
you're the
right?
guy walking in there with a backpack on with weights in it.
And you feel like anybody with a backpack on is crotchety.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
In the grocery store.
In the grocery store. Crotchety in the grocery store.
Now, usually when I go to Costco and I'll bring my kids, and they're both in like wheelchairs, it's like people are very inquisitive and then they're also very helpful. So it's really a blessing to see people and like their good sides come out. And
you're describing other people, though. You're not describing yourself.
No, and it makes me feel joyful to see people like that.
Right. So, but is that joy then overflowing? Are you like encouraging other
What do you mean?
people?
Yeah, of course.
Are you the light in their day?
I would like to think so.
Okay.
Are you the light in my day? Or are you
Usually.
You're more of like the night light in my day. Not too bright, but you're there.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. So, speaking of being the light in people's day, we have, like we mentioned, so Ryan's a very positive guy, very thankful, literally for everything. And here we go, Ryan Van Duzer. Welcome, Ryan Van Duzer. How's it going today, sir?
It's a great day to be alive talking to you fellers, Carl and Derek. What's up?
Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome.
Good to have you on, man.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Bikepacking magazine has you ranked as the third most influential bikepacker ever.
Really?
Wow.
This is news to me.
Is it? Okay, well.
Me too.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
And
And what is Bikepacking magazine?
it's something that I just made up a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, but you know what? For sake of argument, can you guess who's ranked first and second ahead of you?
In my list, I would definitely have Lael Wilcox number 1.
Okay.
She's my favorite. Number 2 would be Barack Obama.
Okay, is Barack a bikepacker?
He's way into bikepacking. You wouldn't guess it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. He was fifth on the list.
Okay, Barack is influential as a president, but not maybe an influential bikepacker. Yeah, those were fourth and fifth.
He could be an influence if he made it more known.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him on next episode. We'll ask him.
Oh yeah, that'd be easy.
I'll give you a cell number after that.
Yeah, no problem.
I had down Lance Armstrong as number 1. Because he was packing more than a bike, you know what I mean, with his performance enhancing stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. and then I don't know why, but Pee Wee Herman was second.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's obvious.
That's an obvious one. Yeah. I should have put him number 1. He's the OG.
Come on, Ryan. Come on. I mean, he had a flying bike. Let's go.
And I don't know if you know this about me, but I love Pee Wee Herman. I grew up on Pee Wee Herman movies and Pee Wee's Playhouse. I still search out his clips on YouTube. He's my fave.
He was
Wait, you search out his clips?
On YouTube. I love watching like old clips from the Pee Wee's Playhouse. His Christmas special.
Okay. No, I did. We're the same. We're same generation, right? You're Gen X, right?
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I'm 44.
Yeah, okay. Derek's about 70, and I'm 46. So
I'm a good 70 though. Look at that.
Yeah, you look great. You still have your hair.
Exactly.
You all do.
I'm working out. Well, most of us.
Oh, so I want to know what you type into the YouTube. So you type in like Pee Wee Herman clips.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you'll get all sorts of great stuff. I mean, he really had a lot of very interesting and funny guests on his show all the time.
Yeah.
I watched the movie, Grum, but I didn't watch the show so much.
You missed out.
The show's great.
You need to go back.
Do you ever type in like Pee Wee Herman bikepacking into the YouTube?
I haven't typed in that, but a funny fact is the last big event I went to before the world shut down with COVID was the 25th anniversary showing of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and Pee Wee was there at a big theater in Denver.
Oh my gosh.
This was like early March 2020, and it was such a cool event. I didn't know at the time that would be the last time I'd be around other humans.
So the last time you're around other humans, who are you around? Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee.
I call him Paul Rubens, but
Well, all right. He's on the inside.
But really, you just call him a friend. Is that where you're at now?
He's my bud.
Okay. Oh wow. All right. Let's.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. Let's roll up. So we might be introducing you to some new like clientele, some new folks here on this podcast. But how would you describe like what your channel's all about? Your YouTube channel. How would you describe that?
My channel is all about getting outside, challenging yourself, and bottom line, having fun. And I'm sure backpackers can relate to all of those things, because at the end of the day, we want to go out and have a good time and be connected to nature and be connected to ourselves and sleep under the stars. And, my channel from the very beginning has been to show people cool things and then inspire them to get off their couches and what I call get out there. And you can get out there in whatever way, shape, or form you want to. You don't have to be an elite athlete. You don't have to have the best gear. You just get outside.
Just get outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. That's good. That's
I love
good.
It. Any which way.
And he's known for like, you're known for like extremely positive videos where you're like thanking the people around you, maybe the ground you even sleep on, the sky, the cloud, like all that stuff. Is there anything that really like gets you down on the trail though? Like what's going to bring you down? Like you forgot your beans maybe? I don't know. Like what?
Yeah, that's a good question and people ask me this all the time. They're like, are you always so positive? And I'm not. I'm a human. Obviously, I go through emotions. I have bad days. But when I'm on an adventure, you're seeing like super excited Ryan and all the months of preparation it took to get to that point. So yes, when I'm out there, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Things that bum me out is when I see trash out there, when I see single-use plastic water bottles in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Things that we need to, be mindful of in order to keep Mother Nature happy. And those kind of things bum me out. And I always make sure in my videos to stop and share these moments like, oh my God, here I am. I haven't seen a human in 7 hours. And I just found a single-use plastic water bottle. This is ridiculous. We need to stop with this.
It's ridiculous. I know. It's like people who bring like smart water bottles on the trail like all the time. You know anybody who does that?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. Single use. Thank you.
Single use. No, he's saying when they're left out on the trails. What he said.
But you leave things on the trail. You've left a bag of drink mix on the trail like 3 times. So
we've had some issues.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle, Ryan, that I have had to deal with for I don't even know how long. So
probably.
I like you guys.
I feel your pain.
Too long.
I've been trying to get him to bring like the nice durable glass bottles on the trail, but he won't do that.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
Oh man.
Maybe in the future when they're lighter weight, we'll see.
Well,
I just appreciate like when you're like thank you campsite for the soft grass that you provided.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we should like incorporate that into our podcast at the end. Thank you, microphone.
I think you should do that for your life.
Thank you, video camera. I mean, it's just I think it's fun.
Thank you that you can grow a beard and look like a man. Like all that stuff. You should start with everything. Start with all the.
And it sounds cheesy to like thank you ground, and I do it, and it's when I've incorporated gratitude into my life and for the simple everyday things, it just makes everything better. And when you're out there, as you all know, days and days in a row, Mother Nature roughing it, however it is, physically difficult, legs are burning. It's nice to just be like, thank you, sunlight, for warming me up this morning. Thank you, God, it feels so good.
Yeah.
If you've had 3 days in a row of rain or cold, and it's the simple things that I love most about getting outside.
I love that. I love that too, because when you're out on the trail and you've had a long day, you'd really savor the simple things like a hot fire or a meal and all that stuff. Let me ask you though, do you get people, because you're on YouTube, right? I mean, are you getting haters that are like, come on, Ryan, like you're thanking the ground. This is so ridiculous. You're so fake. Like, are they saying any like trash talk about your positivity in a way or no? Not
You'd
really.
be surprised. I have never gotten one negative comment ever on my YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
No, are you being
He
serious?
just jinxed it. He just jinxed it. Oh, no.
I am not being serious.
You might be the only guy ever on
There's
YouTube.
There's a lot of grumpy people in the world, and somebody's always going to talk a little smack.
Right.
And I get it. It's out of the ordinary for some people to thank the ground. They think it's weird or stupid or silly, and they'll call me out for it. Or every morning I wake up before I get on the bike, I go, no crashies, no flatties, no whammies. Like I'm
No
fully
whammies.
aware that it's like dorky, but I've been doing it forever. It helps ward off evil spirits, and I like it. And so I don't really care what people think, luckily. I'm out there having a good time.
It's your playtime.
Yeah.
It's your playtime.
It's playtime.
Exactly.
I'm goofing around, just like when we were kids.
Exactly. No whammies. Great show, by
No
the way.
whammies, man.
I love that show. Okay, so this is probably more a question Carl wanted to ask you, but I think he's afraid to ask you, so I'll ask you. He's a little jealous, I think, and so he wants to give us a rundown. He's curious how you can convince total strangers to just jump on camera with you at a whim's notice, because I think he envies that skill, and so I don't know. Is there some magic formula? Or are you just going up in their face and hey, is it the energy you're bringing? What's the secret?
I don't know what the secret is exactly. One of my favorite parts of traveling, even when I don't have cameras in my hand, is meeting people and hearing their stories and being inspired by them. And now that I do have a YouTube channel, I love capturing these moments and hearing their wisdom. And I love when they share with my channel, and my viewers love it. When it's not just me saying no whammies, no whammies. They love meeting new people.
Right.
And so every adventure, that's the highlight of a lot of my videos, are the people I meet. Yeah. And a lot of times I'll run up on somebody and I don't start filming without their permission.
Yeah.
I'll have a little conversation. Maybe they say some things that I think are funny or endearing or inspirational. And then I say, hey, just so you know, I'm doing this route and I'm making a documentary on YouTube about my experiences. And I think my channel would love hearing your story. Would you be willing to, have a short interview on camera? And nobody's ever said no. And maybe nobody's ever said no. Maybe it's because my goofy demeanor kind of just calms things down, and I'm not rolling up with a big movie camera that's intimidating. It's just a small Sony camera. And I always tell people, just pretend you're having a conversation with me, because some people do get nervous for sure.
Right.
They're like, oh, I don't want to sound stupid, or I'm no good at this. But I'm like, just pretend the camera's not there. I'll hold it over here, and you're just looking at me. We're talking like we were just doing. Essentially, say the same thing you just told me again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. See, Carl, you just have to be nice to people.
Okay,
That's
nice
all
to
it is.
people's key.
Yeah.
Goofy.
It's not that hard. It's like,
that's okay. A couple of things you said right there are very interesting, because I feel like when we do filming stuff, something will happen and somebody will be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. They're all fired up. And I'll say, oh, no, I want to get that on camera. Let's recreate that. And then I turn the camera on. They're like, yes, I'm so excited. That was great. They just can't replicate it because they're not actors. And so then I'm like, I can't use that. But you're saying that you're just finding random people and they're just like, yeah, I'll retell the story the same way I just told it with this equal enthusiasm. It works out.
And sometimes it's not the same. For sure, the first moment is always the best. But if I can get and that's where it goes. Maybe my training in journalism helps me. But I can ask them the questions, knowing I know exactly what I want them to say, because they've already said it. Okay. So I will try to ask them the questions that will lead to the answer that I want to hear, but also that I want to share with my audience.
Okay, interesting. Do you ever say something to the effect of can I just turn the camera on real quick? I just want to record. I just want to hear your story. Don't worry, I only have like 200,000 subscribers.
No, I don't usually.
It's so awkward. It's 195,
only
but we round up.
200,000 are gonna hear your story, and more, depending upon how
People
well the
would
video
not
does.
be intimidated if you went up to them and be like, look, we only got 800 subscribers. Like, let's just get this story out there.
That's right. They're like, oh, okay. It's so funny.
Most people I meet out there have no clue who I am, or a lot of times even like, they know what YouTube is, but they don't realize that, yes, maybe I do have a big audience. And a lot of these people who have shared their stories have become minor celebrities. On the Great Divide Trail, I interviewed this amazing couple, Barbara and John, up in Montana, and they have a special ranch called the Llama Ranch, and they take in hikers too.
Yep.
And they give everything for free. They have all these cool cabins, all the food, everything. They just want to be trail angels.
Nice.
And I interviewed them, and because they were such wonderful people. And now, people stop by all the time. Oh my God, I saw you in Ryan's videos. And they love it. They think it's so cool.
Right.
That's
no,
awesome.
yeah, I remember that one. But if you're suggesting that like people don't know who you are on the trail, at least when I'm watching your videos, there's people that are on like distant mountain ranges. They see you just riding through. They're like, Ryan Van Duzer, I subscribe. I'm a Patreon supporter. And you're like, what's up? But really, I think that the key part of like the interviews, at least for me, is when somebody's making a video, especially when you're going solo, you're making really a video that features yourself. And so when you're showing that you truly care about others and you're asking them questions and you're like truly interested in what they're saying, it shows that it's not really just a video about yourself, but you're really just interested in people, and it's not a very like self-absorbed sort of video, but it's really about your experience and the interactions, and you're trying to feature the importance of the people and the interactions you have. And I think that's the key to a lot of your success in the video, specifically with your adventures. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love people sharing their own stories of triumph, because a lot of times that's what they're sharing with me.
Right.
Some guys on the Colorado Trail is like, oh my God, it was the pandemic. I put on 50, 60 pounds. I was getting depressed. And then randomly I found your videos and you inspired me to get on my bike, and I've lost a lot of weight. And I love sharing those stories,
right?
Because it empowers the viewers as well. They're like, this is just some regular dude, and he went out and just got after it a little bit, and he's changed his life.
Right.
And another reason why I love sharing these stories, and I get a lot of comments from people around the world outside of the United States who will say something to the effect of, I watch the news, your country scares me because of everything I hear on the news. Right. It's so dangerous, it's so twisted, division, whatever. But then I watch your videos and you're showing a completely different side of the United States. Right. And thank you for doing that.
Cool.
And that goes for Mexico as well. I've been all over Mexico.
Don't forget
the
Mexico.
Media does no favors for Mexico, but then they watch my videos. They're like, "Oh, Mexico looks like a great place."
Yeah.
That's interesting. You're showing the salt of the earth. You're not showing the like political unrest. It's like kind of more the day to day, I suppose. Well, let's talk about some gear decisions you have, because I think that's another unique part about like your story and what you have going on. And you mentioned before we started recording that your bike's weighing in at like 70 pounds, and I didn't realize it was that heavy. I don't know if I have the strength to do that. 70 pounds is a lot.
You don't.
But there's some areas it looks like you're skimping on gear, though, and some areas that you're bringing some luxury items. So I just want to clarify based on what I'm seeing in the videos. So I got a list here. All right, so first one is you're showing, like, you got your bike bottle and you're dipping in. So are you always dipping in, or do you have a filter with you?
I will dip into a river, and if it's like Colorado Trail and I'm way up high altitude, then I won't even bother with filtering. There's no animals around. There's no livestock, and I'm pretty cool taking the risk of just drinking straight out of the river.
Okay.
A lot of times I'll have a little UV pen. So I'll dip it into the river, get my water, and then stick the UV pen in for 30 seconds and zap it.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't traveled with a filter in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, and that's obviously saving some time as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually, the next one's kind of controversial on our podcast. We've had people push back on this one. And so this is something that you brought on the Colorado Trail specifically, the bear spray. All right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so, and you referenced that somebody had been killed by a black bear at some point. I forget the story, but So you're like, I just want to be safe, so I got the bear spray. But if you look on average, less than one person per year is killed by black bears in North America, not just on trails, but just anywhere. Like, how seriously concerned were you about getting mauled by a black bear?
Almost zero. I bring the bear spray to appease my mother.
Okay. Okay.
It's 10 ounces for mom.
Yeah.
10 ounces for mom.
Yeah, exactly. I'll
worth
spray
it.
it out every night, like a little bit for my homies, for my mama,
Yeah.
that style. But I get a lot of questions from people outside of the United States, again, especially in England. It's really funny. They're like, I want to come do the Great Divide, but you have so many scary animals in America. Like, how do you deal with this? How do you sleep at night knowing that there's grizzly bears out there?
So funny.
What I usually tell people is animals are way more afraid of us than we are of them. They stay pretty far away. People always ask me if I hang my food in trees. I never even do that. Like, I'm pretty lazy about it all. I will keep my food on the bike, and the bike might be 7 to 10 feet away from my tent. Okay. But I'm not as careful maybe as I should be. But it's just, I've been outside a lot, and I just don't think that we're in all that much danger from big, scary animals. I always tell people that mosquitoes will be a much bigger problem than bears.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got an episode coming up called The Top 10 Ways You Might Die on the Trail. And the bugs are on the list, but the predators are not. Yeah. They didn't make the list. They weren't. They don't kill you frequently. I just didn't know if like the bear spray had to do. Some people bring the bear spray for the predators, for peace of mind, whatever, but also because they're afraid of fellow humans, like somebody's going to attack them on the trail, and that works on them too.
Some weirdos out there.
There's some weirdos, but you just kill them with kindness and give them a Snickers bar, and they're usually cool.
Let's ask him about that. Is a Snickers an energy bar or like a candy bar?
Definitely a candy bar, and I love it.
No, no.
From the YouTube legend himself.
It's not too late in life to rethink that.
You answered a long debate, and I can rest my case now. Thank you.
Yeah. He's not the definitive
they
energy bar guy.
don't usually sell energy bars on the candy aisle, though. That's my only argument. So
we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Sorry, Ryan. What were you going to say?
Can you pull energy out of a Snickers bar? For sure. There's carbohydrates in there, but it's definitely a candy bar.
Boom.
Yeah. You can't look as good as Ryan and eat Snickers bars as candy bars.
He just said he does.
I do only on adventures. I eat all the junk food in the world when I'm on adventures. When I'm at home,
in moderation, Carl.
Okay, thank you. Good advice.
Yeah, great.
All right, last gear thing I had is so you bring a drone, which makes for some epic shots. You've got your electric shaver. Yeah. And not a lightweight one. This is like full size. Yep. Right. We already referenced you bring refried beans, but not just like dehydrated ones. You're bringing them in full-blown cans.
Full-blown cans.
You got a 70-pound bike, so you're clearly not trying to skimp in those areas. Like, how do you what's the secret here to your superhuman strength, where like the pack weight, the bike weight doesn't seem to be a concern here?
Lifting weights. Lifting weights.
When you list all this out, it does sound ridiculous.
You forgot the block of cheese.
Yeah, definitely. Well. Oh, I always bring
But you're not shy. You're like showing yourself like every morning you're shaving.
Yeah, it's a shaver. The shaver has become very famous. People ask me all the time what the model is. So I think I should get sponsored by Braun here pretty soon.
Should.
Where's the sponsor?
Yeah, come on.
Does anybody ask to borrow it while you're out there? Like, hey, I can shave.
Oh man.
I've lent it to a few bearded men. I carry all that stuff, and to me, it doesn't seem like it really weighs that much. You're on a bike, you pedal, going downhill, you go fast. It's never been a major concern. I'm not a weight weenie. I never have been, and that goes for even like my components on my bicycle. My bike could be way lighter than it is. Everything could be way lighter, but it doesn't really matter to me, And then I get a lot of comments on YouTube like, "Oh my God, I can't believe your bike weighs this much and you bring cans of beans," and it's like, I don't care.
You're like, believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it. I'm doing it. I'm making it happen.
Yeah. And I'm having a great time doing it.
Yeah. And I'm not that way too. Like I'm trying to shave weight just because my body can't handle it, the older I get. So I was like, is there some sort of like exercise or stretch that you're doing that's like
no,
making it work for you?
I might be bringing a shaver, but think about how much face weight I don't have because I don't have a beard.
There you go.
My face is a lot lighter.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like 2 pounds right
Yeah,
here.
this is
Hair.
a lot.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you're right.
Okay,
Okay.
like came off his head and went to his
All
face.
right, I'm losing it after this episode. So thank you.
You
Inspiration.
can borrow my shaver. It's all yours.
Oh, I don't know if you want to do that to your poor shaver.
When I see you out on the trail, I call you out and be like, "Can I know it's the middle of the day, and I'm sweaty on my face, but can I shave real quick?"
Order the new blades now. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just do it now. Let's order them now.
You know, a lot of YouTubers have merch. I think I might have to brand a shaver. Like,
All right.
a good idea.
Well, you know what? We'll just take about 5% for inspiring the idea, and we'll call it good.
sounds like a deal. I like to collaborate.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
funny.
so as an expert YouTuber, I'm guessing like you're probably not running out of ideas anytime in the near future.
Right.
But I've got some ideas for you just in case.
Oh,
so
Should I get a pen?
No, don't do it.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, I'll get a pen down here.
Don't do it.
Don't do
You're
it.
going to break your pen.
Don't do. I've got 3, and I'm asking like which one you're most which video you're most likely to make out of these 3. Okay.
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 So here we go. Number 1, bikepacking through the Denver hood.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
That's number 1. Number 2,
Painful.
the craziest people I've found on the trail, Hulk Hogan included.
The Leadville race. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Number 3, how do I have the time to do all this?
Ah, man. So I have to choose one of those?
Or all 3, if you like all 3 there.
I might
Or
do all
none.
3.
Yeah.
There is a D, none of these as well.
How about this? I'll take Hulk Hogan with me to ride through the Denver hood.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
Like
Combine it.
security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All joking aside, I would love to do more inner city type stuff. I donate a lot of bikes to kids. I'm a big believer in getting young people on bikes, and some of these populations where they don't obviously have the financial resources to do
Right.
what a lot of people like me do. I love the idea of going and doing an adventure like that and giving away bikes or something.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
great.
Give them
That
a little
could be
That's great.
something.
transportation.
Yeah.
That's not quite how I phrased it, but I'll take it to make that video. I'll say that was
You're
for
like,
me.
no, not kids, not altruistic.
No. I just want the credit for the idea.
Oh my gosh. Always looking for the credit, aren't you?
Yeah.
The handout. Okay. All right.
That's great.
fine.
Yeah. So could you see doing like a bike packing trip where you're just taking kind of underprivileged kids, teenagers, whatever. You're like, we're gonna go do an overnighter, somewhere in the local mountains.
Absolutely. I would love to do that someday. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Honduras for 2 years.
Oh,
I've
wow.
done a lot of work with Mexican immigrant youth here in Boulder for years and years. And so it's important for me to give back and to, share the wealth of what I have and the knowledge I have
Nice.
and the experience. And I know for me personally, I grew up in Boulder. It's a very affluent town, but I was raised by a single mom with 4 kids. We didn't have much,
Mhm.
Right.
and so I benefited from people being very kind and generous to me and to our family. And so I like being able to give that back whenever I can.
You're paying it forward.
Yeah.
I like that.
Exactly.
He's paying it
Right
forward.
on. Right on. That's really inspiring.
You should watch the movie. It's good.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, yeah. I mean, I look forward if you end up doing that or making videos. That would be super cool and super.
Yeah. I would love to collaborate on
inspirational.
something like that.
Yeah. Right on.
Oh my gosh. So you are an author. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about your
Wow.
book. I want to hear about your book.
Sounds weird to say that, but I guess I am.
You made it. He's got it on hand. I like it. Tell us about it. The long
He's
way home.
showing the long way home up to the screen for the people that are
It's
just
a good
listening.
cover shot too. I like
Yeah.
that.
You like that?
Is that your?
Yeah.
Is that
Where
like
is
a,
that?
That's a drone
Where's-
shot, right?
It's a drone shot. This is in Baja.
I thought I saw his arm back there holding the camera. No,
Yeah,
it's
way
okay.
up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is that?
Super long selfie stick. So this book has been a long time coming. My very first adventure ever on a bicycle was back in 2005. I mentioned earlier I was a Peace Corps volunteer. When I finished my service, I decided to cash in the plane ticket that Peace Corps would have given me. I bought a bicycle, and I thought the best way to get home from Honduras would be to ride my bicycle. And I wanted to do that because I didn't want to just get on an airplane and fly home and be back in a matter of hours. That was going to be too quick, like reverse culture shock. I wanted to really process what I had done for those 2 years working with these wonderful kids in this little village, but also have time to dream about what I wanted to do with my life. I was 25 years old. I had graduated college just before the Peace Corps, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at all. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on my bike and just think and dream.
Right.
And I think backpackers, bikepackers, anybody who spend a lot of time in nature, that's when we do our best dreaming, right? And processing and thinking. And so that's why I did it. I wanted just time to be out there.
Okay.
And that's
just a nice long bike ride.
Just a nice long 4,000-mile bike ride.
Just a nice jaunt.
4,000 miles.
A quick little jaunt.
Man.
Yeah. Honduras all the way back to Boulder.
Was it a 10-speed? Like, what kind of bike were we talking about?
No, it was a Trek 8000. And I...
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So back at the time, that was like an $800 mountain bike. It was pretty awesome. You know, aluminum frame with front rock shocks.
Yeah.
And I actually bought that bike from an NGO worker down in Honduras who I just happened to meet at a bar. I was asking, hey, do you know anybody here that sells like good bikes? Because a lot of the bikes they sell in Honduras are just cheap, you know, $100 Walmart style bikes.
Right.
And he's like, no, if you can get them, they're really expensive. But I actually have this Trek 8000 and I'm leaving in 3 months and I'll sell it to you for $500.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I got the bike. So it's a mountain bike technically. I put, you know, slicker tires on it, and I had a bob trailer that connected to the back of it.
Yeah.
And I carried all my gear in a trailer. And again, this was my very first time ever doing something like this. I'd never done it.
So that's my question is like, you get your whoever's in charge of giving you your ticket, and you're like, you know what? Let's not go back home on the plane. Can I just cash that in? I'm going to take a bike ride home. What's their reaction? Are they like, what?
Yeah, they were like, what? Why? But, you know, I don't think they even really understood it or thought that I was serious about it. But after many, many months of telling them, no, I want the cash value of this airplane ticket. They're like, okay, fine. You know, they just finally did it. Yeah, it's your life, buddy.
Just so you know, our insurance isn't going to cover your trip back.
Yeah, like once you are out of the Peace Corps, no more free medevacs, buddy.
Right.
You're really gambling now.
Okay. Yeah. And so I know it got to be in the book, but like so many questions about, you know, border crossings or interesting interactions or people that might kind of become obstacles in your way or danger. I don't know. I'm guessing that's all in the book. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's all in the book. Again, I was 25 years old, first time ever doing an adventure like this, figuring everything out on my own.
So cool.
This is way before smartphones and GPS and any of that stuff. So I had a paper map, one map that included Central America, Mexico, and North America. And I just drew a line on it. And I was like, okay, I want to go here. And those beaches look fun. And just drew a line on it before I even left and stuck pretty closely to that.
Right.
And the way I navigated was just talking to locals all the time. Like, hey, how do I get to this next town? Oh, you can take this road. It's safer here, you know, and then once you get there, you ask other people. And a lot of times they have differing opinions and you take like the best 5 answers and you average them together and you just kind of make your own route.
That's crazy.
Well, now, and you already mentioned that your mom is very protective, so I'm sure she was concerned about this trip. Did you bring bear spray along on this one?
Man, that would have made her. She would have really enjoyed that. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm okay now."
Did she flip out when you're like, "Mom, I'm going to bike home"? She's like, "Ryan, you're crazy. I don't know what you're doing." Like, I mean,
no, she was not a fan at all. She thought this was crazy. You know, again, single mom, 4 kids were all she has, so she's very protective, very scared of what could happen. Again, the media does not do any favors for Latin America and Mexico.
No.
You know, most Americans think that you're just going to get run down by narcos at every corner.
Right, exactly.
The cartel's after you all the time.
That's what I think.
Yeah. But in reality, they're not after stinky gringos on bikes. They don't really care.
There you go.
What's interesting is, because we've had a couple of authors on our show before, and they're just authors. They're not like authors and YouTubers. And so, like, you have a very vibrant, like, popping personality. And the authors that we've had, not all of them, but I'll say 2 out of 3, they're very just kind of like almost like taking a step back from society. They're just kind of just like these very quiet, peaceful observers of what's going on. They're not typically the characters in their own stories even. They're just kind of like, you know, just writing down in very creative ways what they see, what they experience. And so that's what it surprised me when I found out that you're an author. I'm like, well, this has got to be interesting because you're not only the vibrant character, but you're also the person who can be the reflective, kind of take in the scene at the same time. So I imagine that's going to be an A+ book, man.
You know, I'm really proud of it. It's exactly what I dreamed of it to be when I first set out on this adventure. So again, this was 2005. This book is a long time in the making.
Right.
And I took very detailed notes and journaled every single night in my tent because I knew that someday I wanted to write a book about the experience.
Nice.
I got a degree in journalism. It was broadcast journalism, so not really like print journalism, but I've always been a storyteller in one way, shape, or form. And this book is exactly what I wanted it to be. And I owe it all to those journals. If I had not journaled, there's no way I could have pieced it all together 17 years later.
Right.
And what inspired me to write this really was the pandemic.
Okay.
You know, when I got home from the adventure in 2005, I started writing, but it was overwhelming and hard. And then I got distracted by video and other things. And then during the pandemic, I was like, oh, maybe I should go back to all those notes and see if I can put this together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to relive everything. And there's so many moments that I had completely forgotten about. But thanks to the journals, it jogged my memory.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a good book. It has a lot of detail. It has the ups and downs of the adventure, lots of heartwarming moments, meeting locals who completely helped me out, invited me into their homes, fed me the entire way home. Like, you know, like people were saying, don't do this. You're going to get run off the roads. It's going to be so dangerous.
Right.
But the entire way home, people helped me. Truckers would sometimes pull off the side of the highway and wave me over. And I'd be like, uh-oh, what do they want?
Right.
You know, this doesn't seem good. And then they'd be like, hey, buddy, I saw you back there. I drove past you. I wanted to stop and let you know that this is a very dangerous road. But if you go a couple roads over and take this frontage road, it's going to be safer. And oh, by the way, here's a gallon of water because the next gas station isn't for 50 kilometers. And this kind of stuff happened over and over and over. And it just really
good people doing good things, man. That's really cool.
And I felt so safe everywhere I went in Mexico.
Okay.
And I've been back many, many times after this adventure because I love Mexico.
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful. Though.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Good. The long way home.
Yeah. And you kind of answered my other question about just like, because when I'm out on the trail, whether I'm trail running, hiking, whatever, like, you know, you turn off the sounds, the music, the podcast, whatever, and the ideas are flowing. And so, you know, I'm like, how do you always capture? Sometimes your ideas are kind of all over the place, but it sounds like you're very intentional about journaling. Is that still true? Like, are you doing that on?
I don't journal as much anymore because I spend so much time filming and I'm filming my thoughts. So essentially I'm filming what I would be writing down.
Right.
Okay. You're like, mental note, make a video about this or consider such and such adventure in the future.
Yep. And there's sometimes I will turn on the camera and I'll say to the camera, this is not for YouTube. I'm just saying these thoughts because I want to remember this, or it's for something else down the line. And I'll say something that I'm inspired about or something on my mind.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. And I do audio notes a lot on my phone as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, we're going to have the link for your book in our show descriptions for the audio apps and on YouTube. But where can we find it, generally speaking? Is it on Amazon?
Real easy. Duzerbook.com.
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 Okay, we'll have that link.
And I specifically did not put it on Amazon because I don't really like Amazon. And I printed this book in Boulder the most eco-friendly way possible. It's 100% recycled paper. Not one tree was cut down to make this book. It's algae-based ink. Have you ever heard of that?
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Extreme.
Yeah, it's non-toxic. So it's about as eco-friendly as a book can be.
Okay.
And that's really important to me. I've always tried to tread very lightly on this
Good
planet.
deal, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
We love the planet, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Good. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so we're getting near the end here, but I want to get one practical tip from the legend himself on like what would make a successful adventure in your opinion, like for all the listeners.
You're the one inspiring people to get off the couch. So what's one tip
tell me
you have?
one thing.
Your secret to success.
Just get out the door.
for
I don't know,
adventure.
like whatever it is. Yeah.
Secret to success of an adventure. For me, it's just once I get on my bike and leave my house, the whole world just kind of comes together and makes sense. You know, before you get on a trip or you're planning for it, it can be overwhelming and scary and you're worried about navigation and all this other nonsense. Where am I going to get food? Where am I going to get water? But once you're once you're out there, it all makes sense. Like, okay, this is it. I'm just on planet Earth here and I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
And I get a lot of these questions from people like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I want to do what you do, but it's scary. And I just tell people, once you're out there and just go on a short trip, it will all just kind of come together and make sense. And you'll figure it out and you'll gain a lot of confidence by doing that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool. I've figured out this all these obstacles, and here I am in my tent after a long day, and life is good.
Yeah.
Go to the
So I
grocery
guess-
store. Ride your bike to the
Yeah,
grocery
the
store.
one thing for a successful adventure is just to, as Nike said it, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Okay.
Huge.
You know, because I understand that it can be overwhelming in so many different ways when you're thinking about gear and routes and weather and physical ability. And there's a million different reasons why you want to not do something. But once you just do it, oh man, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Right.
That's why I tell Carl, I'm like, look, just start your day. Just walk
Just-
to your mailbox
yeah.
and
Just
come
get
back.
out of bed.
Just go to the mailbox
right.
and come back. It's not too far. He's working on it, though. He's
It
working
is.
on it.
It's at the end of the street. Let's be honest.
It's pretty far.
A little bit of an effort.
For you, it's far.
All right. So speaking of those adventures, what's 2023 looking like for you? What do we have to look forward to in terms of upcoming documentaries, things you got, on your YouTube channel? Like, what do you got?
So I just got back from Oaxaca, Mexico. I was down there
Nice.
riding with John and Mira, who, if you watch my channel, are very famous characters. Mira the dog is the coolest dog to travel with. So I was just down there. Those videos are just about to start coming out. I want to ride the length of Sweden this summer, from the Arctic Circle all the way down south.
Okay.
Backstory there, I was an exchange student in Sweden, and so I love Sweden. It's
beautiful.
a great country, especially in the summertime where it's sunny all the time, midnight sun.
How long of a like ride is that? How many miles are we talking?
It's about 1,000-ish, depending on the route you take. So it's a long country.
And you're going? Is it like a road ride, or is it like a mix?
I want to do dirt. I'm a big fan of dirt.
Right.
I don't. A lot of my early adventures were all on roads and typical bike touring, but I just don't trust drivers anymore. There's so much distracted driving, and everybody's got a cell phone in their hand, and it's I don't feel safe on roads all that much anymore. So if I can be on dirt, away from people, that's where I'm at the happiest.
Okay.
So there's a dirt. You can string together dirt roads or trails enough to go Arctic Circle to the tip of Sweden.
It's doable, Carl. It's doable.
Yeah, I think what I put together is like 70% dirt.
70%.
pretty good.
And I use an app called Komoot, if you know what that is. It's a really cool mapping app where I can say I want to go from point A to point B, and I want to be on as many like dirt roads as possible. And with the magic of the internet or whatever, it builds it for
makes
you.
it happen.
That's so rad.
Okay.
That's so rad. I love it.
Okay, so you got Mexico, you got Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden, there's a big bike event called Ragbri in Iowa that I love.
Okay.
20,000 people riding across the state of Iowa. This is the 50th anniversary this summer. And I've done this event many times, and I love it. It's super fun. It shows off the best of small town America, and it's just bike world. There are no cars. We take over all the roads in Iowa for a full week. It's really neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
So there's that. And then, I don't know exactly what else I'm going to do. I always go to Burning Man every year. There's an ultra marathon I love doing out there.
Okay.
And, I'll piece it together as we go.
Okay.
All right. So not Leadville again, just to clarify.
Not Leadville.
I don't think I'm going to do Leadville. I've done it the past 2 years.
Right.
But this year I'm going to focus more on bike stuff.
Gotcha.
There it is.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's. Where can people find you? We like to end the interviews usually like telling the guests, like plug whatever you want to plug. Where can we find you? All that stuff.
YouTube, socials, all the above.
The stage is yours.
Yeah. YouTube is where I put all of my heart and my soul.
Okay.
That's what I really care about the most. So it's just Duzer TV, Duzer TV. And then from there, you'll find all my other social media stuff. Obviously, I'm selling the book now. Duzer Book is where you can find the book.
Right.
And I really appreciate you guys having me on your podcast. This is one of the most fun podcasts I've ever been on.
That's why we're the legends. I mean, what do you want me to say? That's why.
You said that to every other podcast.
No, I haven't. You can watch all the other podcasts. I never say that.
Oh my gosh, you're too kind, my friend.
Thank
Well,
you.
we appreciate you. We appreciate the energy you bring and the positivity and the inspiration. I always say I go to YouTube to learn something or to be inspired, and your channel is very inspiring. It gets me excited for springtime and the summer upcoming. So
That's good.
Yeah. So God bless you for that. And so we'll have all the links, everything you said. And Ryan, man, really appreciate you coming on the show.
Great time, man.
You guys are awesome.
You're like a little YouTube unicorn, just sprinkling love everywhere.
That's right. I'm sprinkling love.
Yeah,
That's what
great.
I do.
Keep paying it
Let's
for
hang
it.
out. Let's hang out in Colorado. We'll go ride bikes.
I would love that, man.
Oh, man, that was great. What'd you think about Little Duzer? Little Ryman Duzer.
Little. When you say little, it's so minimizing and condescending. So
No, that's
not
in
very
your
nice.
world, yes.
Yeah.
No. What do you think?
Oh, in my world, people when
Yeah.
you say little things, it's not.
What did you
minimizing.
think? This guy's he was
He's
great.
great. He was great. He brought the energy. He's so positive, so
Yeah.
friendly. He's just a fun guy to talk to. He had some things that surprised me, like Pee Wee Herman, for example. Did that surprise you?
That surprised me, but
Yeah.
I used to watch the show, so I can't really say anything. I mean,
Okay.
so many great stories about like 4,000-mile bike rides and helping kids in Honduras and all these things. Just a good person who really enjoys spreading just positivity and helping
Right.
people. I mean, what a great guy. There's needs to be more like him, I think.
Yeah.
You can work on that.
Well, I'm trying to work on that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he had some good. Yeah, he definitely had some good stuff. He trying to think of kind of the big takeaways here in terms of adventure. His tip was pretty simple. Just kind of do anything, right? Like just go, like get outside, do anything. You'll figure it out as you go.
I think part of that was like, and I almost mentioned this. I didn't. I wish I did, but it was more like once you get out there, you're gonna understand like what it is to like really enjoy the moment. And once you're out there doing something that you didn't think you could do, it becomes really something that internally motivates you to do more of it. And
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what it seems like for him, at least. He's constantly doing more and more things. And now he's going to go, well, you heard he's going to go to like Sweden and all these other,
I know.
it's crazy.
That's
So
cool, for sure.
it's inspiring.
So in terms of inspiration though, and things that can like directly relate to kind of how we do things and what we like,
Right.
do you see us asking people that we just met on the trail to, come on camera with us? Is that going to be one of like, is he going to inspire us to do that? Basically?
I think you're going to try. I don't know if
Well,
it's
is that
going to go
important?
well.
I mean, is that like our vibe? Is that important to us? Is that something that we should include in our show?
I think if it's organic, yes. I think if
Okay.
you have an opportunity to make an organic story about something, then yes. But
Okay.
I think, do we want to we don't want to like force it. I mean, are you hearing and seeing what he's doing? And you're like, I gotta try it, and then it's gonna be awkward, and we're gonna like.
Well, we have evidence of me already doing this with audio, right? Because on the Tetons trip, I interviewed people on the trail. I interviewed the ranger at the ranger station.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little safer than actually turning the video camera on, right?
It is, yeah. Oh
So,
yeah, less
did
invasive.
Did that sound forced? Were those people scared? Were they just like, why are you asking me these questions?
I think he just has a natural way of presenting all that, right?
Right.
And he's very vulnerable, and he's very like authentic sounding, you
Right.
know, and you might sound staged. So I don't know. There's the difference, So,
But I think also, though, people want to know why you're doing it. So he's sharing that he's making a documentary. I shared that we had a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think, though, that people, if you're like, okay, well, what's a documentary for? Do you have a YouTube channel? Isn't there natural, like, next question? Well, how many subscribers do you have?
maybe not on the trail.
I would think so.
I'm not gonna ask that on the trail.
Well, if you're being filmed, you wouldn't be like, well, how many people are going to see this?
Maybe. I mean, I
I
might.
would want to know.
I
Like,
might.
is this like a small time like backpacking and blisters outfit? Or?
like you said, I'm gonna let my light shine. So start the camera rolling. Let's go.
For you, I'm saying like when we ask other people, do you think they're going to start like probing a little bit? I guess I'm just wondering if he's gotten those questions. Maybe
Maybe. I mean, you should have asked him that, but you missed your
it's too
opportunity.
late. It's too
yeah,
late
it's
now,
too late.
You know? We got one shot and we try to succeed. And
The
we failed.
bicycle has ridden by.
It has. Okay. So, any other takeaways from that?
No, I mean it was great.
Your analysis,
I'm
A plus as usual.
I think I gave more detail than you, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. Tit for tat.
Do you are you inspired to be like closing out podcast episodes with thank you microphone, thank you computer for allowing us to record, thank you for my audio equipment for not breaking.
You're always going to take it to the most ridiculous level possible.
Okay, let's talk about ridiculous for a second.
Thank you, mouse, for not failing me during this computer recording. Thank you, sound equiment.
Let's talk about ridiculous. Okay.
Every episode we're going to do that now.
I got some show and tell here, folks.
Yeah, you
This
do.
This relates to, we made the Pee Wee Herman reference early on, and then I'm out with Derek, obviously in California, and he busts these things out.
Garbage
okay?
Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. This is his childhood collection.
Yes.
I got a stack
Yes.
right here. Series 1 Garbage Pail Kids. I got
Don't be jealous.
Graffiti Petey.
Graffiti Petey.
Rundown Rachel. She's been flattened
Rundown
by a steamroller. Tommy Toom, who's a mummy. I've got Guillotina.
Guillotina. Come on,
Guillotina?
get it right. Guillotina.
Oh my gosh.
You
I forgot how disturbing some of these things were, to be honest.
they're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
So Derek is not a hoarder, but he said that's the one thing he's kind of saved.
I've hoarded those since I was a kid.
Yeah, and he's not on this on eBay. So We found one. Was it Atom Bomb that was worth a couple $100?
$25,000.
Not $25,000.
Yeah, well, yeah. Mint.
We found Atom Bomb, and he doesn't want to sell it.
No, I'm not going to sell it.
So
Carl's
anyway.
a garage selling thief, or not thief, but more of like a
That's kind of a thief.
freak. More of a freak.
I try to steal stuff.
That's
to be
true.
honest. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny because we're talking Pee Wee Herman, and here next to us as we're talking, he's got his garbage pail kid set.
Yeah.
So and just to clarify, I just showed a stack. He's got like a 1989 box of baseball cards.
Don't bend them. There you go.
Right here. Just this is loaded.
But inside are garbage pail case.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But anyway,
He's going to try and steal them. But you used to steal. What did you used to steal as a kid? Pastries? What was it? who steals pastries? What was it?
office supplies, like a lot of pens.
Pens.
All right, let's get to trivia.
Here we go.
Okay, so I've got some bike trivia.
Oh. Okay.
Bike trivia coming up right after this.
Okay.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. 1 purchased equals 1 donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Do you struggle with joint pain, breathing at altitude, uneven terrain, or simple exhaustion? Then it's time to up your trail game, folks, with our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength. He's got a specialized program that will be just right for you to conquer your next adventure. Don't be left behind by the group again. Get your hands off your knees, get your butt off the log, and feel good getting after it with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, so bike trivia is brought to us by Vaucluse Gear.
Close.
Let's be honest. Back sweat really dampens our spirits.
Oh, wow.
Not only is it uncomfortable and potentially dangerous, but it's gross to look at. So a good thing the Vaucluse Cool Dry Backpack Airflow Frame can solve this problem. This game-changing solution fits all packs between 18 and 65 liters and will give you the airflow you need to stay drier. So check it out at vauclusegear.com. Thank you for sponsoring this trivia, Vaucluse. Yep. We've got bike trivia.
Let's go.
You're not, but just to clarify, you're not interested in bike packing in the future. This is not going to be your thing.
No, This is all you.
I want to go this year. I want to do like just an overnighter trip and start this year. So we'll see what happens. So I got some questions sort of along these lines.
My bike was stolen, so I don't really even have a bike.
It's hard to replace, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 1, when you put your bike into the easiest gear for uphills, it's called the A, granny gear, B, small cog, or C, novice knob.
I'm going to say small cog.
The small cog.
Small cog.
Is incorrect. It is called the granny gear.
I don't know.
The granny gear.
No idea.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a learning experience for you.
I might be failing this trivia.
a little nervous for you.
I need to
step
it up.
All right. Number 2, which of the following is not a bike brand? A bike brand. A, Pivot, B, Yeti, C, Iron Horse, or D, Mugu Wugu?
Does Yeti make bikes? I'm going to say Yeti.
Yeti. Okay. Yeti is also incorrect. You
they make bikes? Really?
Okay.
I didn't even know
but
that.
the funnier part of this is that you think Mugu Wugu.
I don't know. Maybe
is
it's a European brand. I don't know.
I literally just made those words up.
I don't know. I failed.
Mugu Wugu.
Mugu Wugu. Maybe it's a European brand or something. Is it Asian? An Asian brand or something? Maybe an Asian bike brand?
Mugu Wugu is a brand.
I should double check that.
my
He's probably
gosh.
wrong. He's been wrong before. Wouldn't be the first time.
Okay, this is loss number 3. You've taken the lead here.
I know.
Okay, so I got number 3. I want to do a bikepacking podcast one day. Like, I really do. Once I get more into bikepacking. I don't even mind being the newbie who's doing the bikepacking, just trying to learn as I go.
Yeah.
And I've already got a name for it. Okay? Sounds like you're not going to be the co-host if you don't go bikepacking.
No, definitely not.
So which of the following options do you think is my choice for the name for the
This is so
bikepacking?
ridiculous.
Which one
You
would I
talking
do?
about my trivia questions being ridiculous. There's no
You've
way
already lost.
There's no
Who
way to
cares?
answer this. There's no way to answer this.
Okay, well, which one would you choose? Let's go with that.
I'm going to just give myself the point for this right now anyway.
Okay. All right, let me read it off. Okay.
Hike a bike?
Okay, A, hike a bike. He's looking at my notes. This is what happens when we're together. Stop looking. A, hike a bike. B, cycle paths. Stories from crazy bikepackers.
Psychopaths is good.
As in like psychopaths?
Yeah, I get
Okay,
it. Thanks.
okay.
You don't have to explain it.
All right, and then C, The Bikepacking Breakdown.
Your notes say D, ABD.
It's autocorrect.
I think.
Calm down. Stop looking at my notes.
That's probably the problem there. Let's see. Stories. Bikepacking. I'm going to say psychopaths.
Okay, you feel like I would have a super long title, Psychopath Stories from Crazy Bikepackers?
Don't tell me it's Hike a Bike because that's terrible.
It's not Hike a Bike, but it's
the Backpacking Breakdown? The
yeah,
Bikepacking Breakdown?
It's a pun because it's like you can break down information about bikepacking, but it's also bikes breakdown.
And that's why he'll get no more than 4 subscribers.
Well, that's probably true.
That's his family.
But,
okay.
This is the first 0 for 3 you've had probably in 2 years.
Yeah.
And
0 for 3.
I think we're going to circle
1 for
back.
3. 1 for 3.
We're going to have a reason to have bike trivia again.
No, I don't think that's. I'm going to start doing grams and meters. And,
I know my grams.
Millimeters.
So it's not a problem for me.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll find out.
All right. Well, the only tidbit I have is we have our latest Patreon episode is more from the Dan Becker interview. So we've got a full bonus episode for February, more from the Dan Becker interview. We've got ad-free episodes on Patreon.
Yep.
We got Patreon trips. We got all sorts of stuff. We'd love you to join the Patreon family. I feel like it's a redonkulous deal. You like that word?
No comment.
Okay.
But yeah, just join it. Hit the subscribe. We do this every week. It's becoming a thing. Just do it. We won't have to say it anymore.
That's all I got, man.
That's all you got? That's it? That's all I got. Guys, thanks for joining. It was great having you guys, as always. Looking for any dirty gringos on the road in Colorado, that's the guy you're going to see right there.
I want to fly around the world.
You know, Ryan was talking about 70-pound packs, and this is my bike, and all this stuff. And I was like, that's impressive. And Carl's like, I can't lift it. And I was like, I know. That's why he already got his bike trail bike, and it's just like this little 15, 20-pound. It's a My Little Pony tricycle. So